I am here in Medjugorje and I'm with, what's your name?
My name is Francis Cassidy.
And where are you from, Francis?
I'm from Donegal, Ireland.
And you said you came many times here.
Yeah, well, I've only come on with two groups, but I came quite a few times on my own.
Yeah.
And on day trips from the region. I was in different holiday places and I came different times.
Why do you come back here all the time?
I find it just a special place to be.
In which way? Can you describe it to somebody now listening who doesn't know Medjugorje?
Well, there's a peace here that I don't seem to find anywhere else on earth, and a connection with God or whatever. I wouldn't be the most religious people. I don't pray in the church an awful lot, although my family are very religious people, come from a very religious family. I personally don't. I find peace in other ways. But I certainly do find great peace here.
And did you see a lot? You came with two groups, you said, and you saw a lot of people here. You saw the changes in them when they were here?
Yeah, some of them, yeah.
What happens to them?
Well, it's hard to explain now, but they seem to get a great sort of inner peace from being here, and that sort of thing, you know. It's hard to put in words for me. I'm not the greatest of speakers now, but
yeah, but it's like you said, it's that peace, that tangible peace which is here.
I can see the peace in their faces.
Yeah.
Like for instance, this visit I came from Dublin, and I stayed at the airport, or I came sort of late at the airport, and I was the last person in the queue just to check in, and the first person I met was a guy from Dublin, someone I'd never met before or seen before, but I asked him where's he from, and he told me he was from Swords, which was only out the road from the airport, a couple of miles from the airport. And I said, I've got a sister living in Swords. And he asked me what her name was. I said, Mary Martin, and he said, her daughter left me to the airport. So we made an instant connection. He'd been working, but now sadly he's in Mostar Hospital. He broke his hip while he was here. So that's very sad. But the group that I've been out with now has gone home, and I've stayed here to give him a little bit of support.
He's right now in Mostar?
He's in Mostar, yeah.
So all watching, we are praying for him. What's his name?
Christy Hall.
Yeah, we will pray.
And he's had a broken hip and a broken wrist. So
that's very important. We all pray for him. Maybe that's why we do the video.
Yeah.
And you know, Padre Pio said the rosary is the powerful weapon for our times. You pray the rosary, you said?
Yeah, I do, but not maybe not as much as some people that come here, but I do. The rosary would have been a big prayer in my home since I was a little boy.
And does it give you peace, or why do you pray it?
Yes, it does. It does give me great peace.
And it seems you're always drawn back to Medjugorje. You come so often here, no?
Yeah, I come back. Yeah, I find there's a big connection with our Blessed Lady and God Himself and Jesus.
And you have a favorite spot in Medjugorje?
Well, possibly the Blue Cross up around Apparition Hill. Yeah, that would probably be.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Well, yeah, just you go there and you sit.
Yeah, I feel great peace there.
Same with me, just sitting there and being.
Yeah, just being there.
Just being there. And what would you tell people? Why come to Medjugorje one time?
Pardon?
What would you tell people? Why come to Medjugorje one time?
Would I say that people should come to Medjugorje?
Oh, what would you, when you come home now and people ask you about Medjugorje, what would you tell them? Why come here one time? Why you come all the time?
Well, people do ask, and you know, what do you find in Medjugorje? I would just say what I've just said to you
Yeah.
just now, that I find that great peace and connection with the Blessed Lady and with Jesus and God,
Yeah,
you know,
that's so beautiful.
and just peace.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd probably find that strange. Some of the people that come here wouldn't look at me as being a very religious sort of person, and they would be sort of doubting as that I would be the sort of person that would come to Medjugorje.
Mm-hmm.
My first visit here, I met a person who passes my door every day, and outside St. James's, she raised her arms in the sky and she said, "It's a miracle. It's an apparition. It's an apparition," because she saw me there, you know. So I said back to her, I said, "It's a miracle. It's a miracle." And she says, "What's the miracle?" I said, "It's a miracle that you speak to me, because you don't every time you pass my house," you know. But I think the miracle was that since then she's spoken to me every day she passed my house.
That is what Medjugorje is, connecting people now
Yeah.
in Ireland.
Yeah, and everywhere, I think, is connecting people and connecting people with our Blessed Lady and with God, you know.
And there's so many things. You went to the waterfalls, you went to Mostar, all these
Yeah.
places as well.
Yeah,
And it's good to go, no? To have a change. You can go to Mostar, see the old bridge, the old
Oh,
town
yeah.
of Mostar.
well, I've been in Mostar now about 12 times since Monday.
Oh, wow.
I visit Christy every day in the hospital. Sometimes I come twice.
Yeah.
So,
And I think that's Medjugorje too, that you take care of each other. You visit him in the
yeah.
hospital. That's so nice. Again, Christy, his name, please pray for him. And Francis, we were talking a little bit and you said you were a long time in darkness. Can you explain that story to give people hope like me? I was in darkness as well.
Well, I felt in my life I was in darkness from the age of 6. A very happy and bright child up to that. And then my mother gave birth to my younger sibling, and she suffered greatly with postnatal depression as a result. And then soon afterwards, her mother died, and this was another trauma she had to suffer.
Yeah.
And then within a couple of months, her sister died of a brain hemorrhage. So myself as a little child couldn't understand what had happened. I'd seemed to have lost my mother, and I was feeling abandoned. I didn't know what I was feeling. The whole world fell out of my life. And I suffered greatly. As a child, I didn't know what was going on. But as I grew into a teenager, I started to become rebellious and doing all sorts of things. Naughty boy and all sorts of things I did. And then as I grew out of my teenage years, I started to work, and I went abroad. I went to England and started to work for a living. And of course there was no point in rebelling against anybody at this stage. I just had to live my own life. So I sort of grew out of that sort of phase of my life, and I didn't really think I was suffering, but I knew there was something missing, you know. And I wasn't greatly connected to God or to church, even though I grew up in a very religious family. I wasn't that connected. But then, after about 20 years in England, I came home. I got married had a couple of children, come back home, and then things started to go wrong for me again. In an adult life, my father died, and within a short time, my brother was killed in a car crash. And then, as a result of me not dealing well with that, my family left me. So it was like deja vu with what had happened to me mother and many years before. So then I started to look for the light. I searched greatly for a number of years, and eventually started to come. And then I became carer for my mother in her later years, and we come very close, but I still couldn't forget what had happened. And it's not that I wasn't blaming her, but I wasn't not forgiving her. I just still didn't know where I was with the whole thing. Then she passed away. Just before she passed away, I came to Medjugorje with my sister. And that was my first trip to Medjugorje, and it was great, brought me great peace and inner peace. So I went back home, and I came back then on several visits on my own when I was visiting the region. It was anyway close by. I came, and then something happened to me. I don't know who brought it along or what brought it along, but I would call it an awakening. And it happened. My sister that was in Medjugorje with me, I woke up one night on the 6th of January at 6 o'clock in the morning, which was exactly the time my granny had died. And my sister would have been the one comforting me on the morning when Granny died, and she was the very first same person that came to mind at that time. And she would be someone who comes to Medjugorje and has great belief in Medjugorje. And her son is a priest, and her daughter brings people to Medjugorje every couple of times a year and works for Marian pilgrimages. So I don't know, maybe one day I will might do something somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But this is so beautiful. And can you say you felt the presence of God in your heart, love, light, and you said you had that moment of awakening?
Yeah. Yeah, I certainly had that moment of awakening. But as I say, I wasn't in Medjugorje when I had that. But I do believe
it can happen everywhere, no?
It can happen everywhere, and I believe it may not have ever happened if I hadn't come to Medjugorje and felt that presence here.
That peace, that deep peace.
Yeah.
I didn't have it too. A lot of things going on in the family to find finally that peace, no?
Yeah.
As a child, I was always looking, where can I find? I was traveling the world 40 years.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine even told me once we came from this fancy party in Berlin, and we came outside. I always remember the moment he said, "Tom, you're looking for a home. You're looking for a home." And you also made the experience that Medjugorje feels like a home.
Yeah.
Wow. What can I say? The same with me. And I think this really, Francis, will give hope to people, because there are a lot of people out there. They look for a home. They look for some peace. Thank you so much. Is there anything else? You want to greet somebody? Maybe your sister? Is she here, or she's in Ireland?
Oh, she's in Ireland. I'd like to say hello to Aoife and Father Ashin and Mary, my sister.
Yeah.
Who I love very much.
Yeah. Wow. You came a long way.
Thank you greatly for bringing me the first trip.
Thank you so much, Francis.